Hey, this is Max. Welcome back to another CSR2 video. I'm here with the H brand to K brands for live racing. We're going to jump right in and do some live racing. The first up is obviously the Hennessey, which I recently did a video on the F5 Venom Roadster, and the regular F5 Venom Purple Star here is just as good, slightly different in Evo, but basically the same car. So if the Roadster is that good, naturally this car would also be a top live racer. In fact, you rarely have any problems using this car winning. However, one of the things about this game is that it's not really designed for you to win by large margins. In order to win and continue to win, you have to learn car control, which can be frustrating. And that's the one downside to this. So here, a Roadster raised a little cash against me. Let's see how it goes. I'm pretty confident in my setups. Usually, I would say 80 to 90% of the time, I should have some advantage in most matchups. There are players out there that knows how to set these cars up to run lobby edge, or even outside of the lobby edge, leveraging both advantage as well as dyno beating. Those players generally can beat me. But I would say 80% of the time, I would have pretty easy time winning. Now, for the most part, this car and this Blueberry here, they're really the same car. Like I said, there are a few Evo differences, but not much. Now, it's going up against a McLaren that I'm going to be showcasing later in the next part of this series, but let's go ahead and take it on and see how it goes. I have confidence again that the F5 Venom, because it both has lobby advantage and beats dyno, will win this race. And I am able to stay in front of them without much of an issue. Not really surprising. However, a fully tuned and carefully set up McLaren and this Venom would have a pretty close race. If not, in some cases, the McLaren may actually win. Now, against the F1, it goes again down to 1, the lobby you're in, and 2, how well they're set up. It should be a tough race, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they will definitely outrun me. Usually, the ones that are really good, what you'll see with the F1 is that because they top out right away, they'll be way ahead of you. You have to chase them down. But if I'm able to pass them half track, I'm pretty good as far as making it through. Here we go, a little quick level up with a little 35 gold. You'll never get any nicer gift than a 35 gold when you level up, even if you're in the thousands, just so you know. All right, moving right along. So this is same thing. So we're going to move to Honda. Honda has only really one car that's any good, and that's the Hoonigan truck. And the Hoonigan truck's thing is that a lot of players don't want to race it anymore. It beats dyno by half a second. It can get a little bit of lobby advantage, but it's hard to maintain it. So you have to kind of set the car up and control the car, both of which are kind of hard. And it's got a kind of a weird launch, weird way of driving, and tuned weirdly in order to really control it. Overall, it's one of those things that the car's good in the sense that if you didn't already break it, and most players probably did within weeks of owning it, it can stick around and help you win. But it's not fun to use. So therefore, not a car I actually end up racing a lot. And a lot of times people don't want to race you either. I'm in essentially the same lobby I was in my F5 Venom. Let's go ahead and race a bot, find out what lobby it is. I expect it to be something like, I think 8.9 lobby or 9.0 lobby is where it should be. Depending on what the bot runs, it'll give us a good idea approximately where we are lobby-wise. So the bot will run 11 whatever, okay, unless you're in really slow lobbies, it may even run 12s, but 11 whatever, but it's usually the whatever that we care about. So it's 0.977, which basically puts it at 12, which means it's a flat number. That means the lobby is likely, as I was saying earlier, 9.0 lobby, okay, because my cars are set up in the 8 point somethings. I wasn't showing dynos earlier. Maybe I'll show dynos for this one. So the thing about the dyno is that some dyno, when you go into the lobby, you end up with like nobody racing you. So with this Jaguar, I bumped it over 1 point so I can get some opponents. I didn't show you the other part. I cut it out because it's kind of a waste of time to see it. And that's part of the reason why the video is going pretty smooth and quick is I'm actually cutting out a lot of footage that is unnecessary for me sitting around searching for other players. Okay, so the Jaguar, this one's not fully elite. It'll get even better if I fully elite it, but priorities, this car's not a priority. It is, however, pretty good, and it's able to hold its own in live against most cars. Again, this is not a top live racer, not like the F5 Venom, which I would say it's like top 1, 2, 3 range car. This one, it's decent. It's probably like, if you're talking about top tier cars, maybe A tier as far as live racing is concerned. There are ways to set this up to beat dyno by a lot too. So that is what some people do. So don't always underestimate this car in live, especially in the slower lobbies. You might be surprised, unpleasantly surprised, at how much it can beat dyno, and therefore your 200K bet may disappear. But the thing about anything in 10.6, 10.8, 11 and slower is that you're usually racing newer players. It doesn't feel as much, or regulars. I mean, there are two types of players in the slower lobbies, the regulars and newer players. And generally speaking, newer players will be easy to beat. The regulars usually have some setup they've been using quite a bit and they're pretty confident with, so those are tougher. And then you have the down-tuned cars, the 911, 992s, the Tuateras, the Camaros, the Fords, some Lamborghinis, they're down-tuned, some Ferraris. Those guys are in there because their car can beat you by a lot. So 992, Porsche, and Tuatera, I just ignore. I generally don't race them. It's just not worth it. You could bump them, take a loss and bump them, but in the end, it's not really worth messing with them, unless that's what you want to do, is to mess with them. All right. I guess I should go with the Kimera first, Konig, KO, KI, whatever. Let's go ahead and take the Konigsegg out first. The Jesco Red, very good car, still very good, but it's hard to drive. And with the F5 Venom in the game, the Jesco Red, it just isn't as good as it used to be because it does not beat dyno. In fact, it's hard to hit dyno. Where it shines is that it really has massive amount of lobby advantage when you build it right. And it can bump itself down a lobby. In addition, it's one of those cars that work outside of the overall expected lobby ranges. You just don't see it in lobbies that you expect it to really be, maybe 5/10 faster than the lobby, but it can do more. And that's what really makes this car shine. But as you get into the faster and faster lobbies, of course, it loses that. In this particular lobby range, which is similar to my other cars, I have them pretty much all in the 8s right now. It does fine. It's not going to beat everything. Again, a fully tweaked, well set up F5 Venom Spider will at least go neck and neck with this thing. However, I'm in the 8.8s, 8.9s range opponents, and as you can see, my dyno is 8.22. The Venom would have probably an 8.4 dyno to be in that lobby and able to run 8.2s. So it's still kind of a toss-up. Now, if this car gets bumped or the Venom is bumped back into 9.0, of course, that's different. But still, lobby advantage is where that red Jesco is king. Okay, moving right along, the Kimera Evo 37. This is a great car. Very hard to get parts for. It took a while to build. But it is a great car in the sense that in this lobby at least, where I'm in a slower lobby, it'll have advantage. It's got high evo. It's got all the regular things. And I think it runs dyno, if not beat dyno. Depends on shift pattern and how you have it set up. So in the slower lobbies, it's quite good. So this one, we're looking at a 10.11 second lobby. I ran 10.9 to win that one. Again, this guy's no stars. He won't be that fast. So against most of the guys in here in the 11s, 10.9, 10.8 to 11.2, which people tend to fall in depending on how poorly they have their car tuned. You can run anywhere from 10.6 to 11.3 cars in that same bracket of cars. So you can run into really fast cars. You can run into really slow cars. Add in some dyno busting. And you're looking at potentially cars that can do 11.4 to, 10.4 T11.2 in that same lobby. Okay, so this is a good car. Moving right along, we're going to go to the CCA50. This is a newer car. I'm still sitting it into lobby, so I'm trying not to push it out of the lobby too quick. We'll see who we get, but generally speaking, this is a good car. It just needs a little bit of tweaking to make sure that it stays in a certain lobby. It can beat dyno by about a tenth. Oh wow, I have no opponents. So this means I might have to tweak this car's dyno in a bit. And this guy's car is really a lobby advantage car. So if I run him all out, I'm going to probably end up pushing myself, or I push him out. Let's see what he runs. I mean, I can run against him just to see what he runs. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, if I have to go into 7th, it's already showing me that he's pretty quick. I really don't want to go into 8th. So let me see what he ran. 8.794. Yeah, that's a little bit. I mean, it's not quite my dyno, but that's pushing. I'm trying to push back a lobby, not push forward. When I saw a bunch of bots, that already worries me. This car is on its way to being bumped, so that's not a good thing. Of course, the other cars are F5. So what it is that all three of us are on the border of being kicked into a faster or slower lobby, depending on what we've been doing. And this is one of those weird hang in the middle areas that I don't like. I don't like to be here. If I win, I would like to win as slow as possible. If I lose, it's okay. Because you have to be very careful that you don't bump. When you see situations like this where a bunch of bots showed up, that usually means that you're at the very, very end of an entire bracket, or very outside of edge of any lobby that you were trying to be in. So no more bots are showing up. That's not a good sign either. Bots showing up says that I am doing something that's triggering a decision. But right now, obviously, I'm not able to move anywhere. I'll race him again, push him a little bit, see where he lands. I want to see if he can do like 8.6 or not. Let's see. Right, so let's go ahead and... This car's got kind of a funky shift pattern, but it's a good car. Push. Oh, okay. Right, so I don't think he's going to be able to do much quicker than that run there. That was another 8.785, so that's about where that car is. Don't forget, that Audi would dyno about 2/10 slower. If he drove it perfectly, it runs 2/10 faster than whatever his dyno is. And I'm dynoing 8.656. That's kind of a weird dyno. It's 8.6s can put you in 9 or 8.5. So it really depends on how you want to run it. But with lobby advantage, you really should be 9.0 and potentially 9.2 if you play your cards right. But really 9.0 is the lobby you would expect to be in. And of course, I can do 8.589. I just didn't want to do it. I'm still working on this car. So again, work in progress, but good car so far. Now, Just Go Absolute, the way I have it set up is it's not going to get much lobby advantage, okay? It's 9.8 dyno. I wish I could put it to 9.7, low 9.7 dyno, but what I'm trying to accomplish, I can't do that. What it does do is that it has a specific amount of Evo drop already built into this tune, which means that it is both a lobby, I wouldn't say lobby advantage, it's a dyno beating tune. So that's the strength of this car for a while. It can carry really decent Evo and still beat dyno. So therefore, it's all about control with this car. How hard do you want to push it? I certainly don't want to run under 9.8. I wish I had 9.7 dyno, but maybe I'll tweak it and see if I can get that and still have my Evo drop the way I like it. But basically, you got to control the car. And, you know, I should be in 9.0, I mean, 10.0 lobby, where slower in cars run about 10.2, faster in car runs 9.8 to 9.6. 9.6, I probably let the guy win simply because I don't want to push it. But if it stabilizes or if it moves to a little bit slower end of 9.0, then once in a while I'll take out a 9.6 guy, 9.5 guy, no problem. I could probably push this car ultimately to a run 9.2 in here. I probably wouldn't want to, but that's what it's capable of. Okay, let's see. So here's now this Evolution Elite Tuner is known for its ability to be tuned to beat dyno. I don't know if everybody knows how to do that. I certainly don't mess with it too much, but I know my teammates really like this car, so we'll see how it goes against me. Here we go. Okay, now with this grip evo drop tune, you cannot launch perfect. It'll get 0 RPM drop and you'll run a lot slower. You want to launch early, and then you can slow the car down by shift control. And generally speaking, it does pretty well. So, all right, 10.1. Okay, well, let's add some gas. We got 1 or 2 more cars to go through before we'll call it for the H2K brands. All right, so the next one up is the Regaras. I have 3 of them. The Ghost is a little bit stronger than the regular, but I'm not going to showcase all of them. Let's just go ahead and use my old Elite licensed one. And of course, Doggy's up. So Doggy's going to add to the audio here a little bit. All right, here we go. Wow. So this is, again, because I have the tune with the very low performance point, high evo setup, I'm not really getting many veteran players except for, guys with really severely down-tuned cars here. Okay. Now, this M4 is a good car. So actually, he may have a good tune on it. We'll see. He seems pretty confident he raised money, so we'll see how it goes. So the Regera is a little tricky to launch, but if you launch it just right, whether you get the RPM drop or not, it doesn't. For this tune, it doesn't really affect it too much, but it'll run pretty well. You're gonna slow down a little bit at the end there. Okay, downshifting the first, drop the speed quite a bit. So that's a 11.9. He ran a 12.2, so I might be in 12.2 lobby. Not a big deal. The DBX 707 is a good car. I would like to race this, like my tail lights guy, but he's done the same available. That car should do okay in here. It's a with lower upgrades, the Bugatti actually isn't that bad, but we'll see. I mean, the DBX guy is available, and he's good. So let's. Now, the DBX 707, depending on the setup, I mean, if he has it right, it should be very good. If he just does a standard setup and just tuned it to max evo, then probably not. So, the fact that I'm shooting ahead of him means that he doesn't have a super strong setup. He will gain some speed in the end there, right, like that. Whoop, whoop. Okay. Oh, bummer. All right. Slow down a little too much. Yeah, so he's got a little bit of a, and I should have remembered that, but I'll give him another try. So I always try to slow down the Regera at the end with downshift, but it's kind of an abrupt downshift that slows it down a lot, and it's cost me quite a few races, and I'm kind of out of practice with this car on top of it. So, all right, let's try again. Not a big deal. I mean, again, the DBX 707, if it's set up right in this lobby, it should be quite good. 12.2, I think it should be able to do like 11.4. That looked like, I don't know. It looked like I won that. It really did. 7,000s, of course. All right, well, fair enough. I mean, he got the wins. I mean, I could have pushed my car a little more. I just decided not to. But here's the dyno, 11.682. Regaras will beat dyno by another tenth or two if you shift it perfectly. So yeah, it's 11.4 car in there if pushed. Okay, and the Kimera. Now this is a car that Denny Lightning loves. I'm okay with it. I haven't used it in a long time. It's been collecting dust because I have other fun cars to play with. So let's see if I still remember even how to drive it. I mean, it's been a while. Okay, let's see. Now it's a good car though. I mean, if for the fact that it was available, I think in Race Pass recently a few times, and some players have definitely picked it up. It's a good car. Setting it up requires specific parts to get the performance point low and the evo high, or you just have a standard car that isn't as good. So the unfortunate part about the Regera and the Kimera is you kind of end up stuck being more advantageous in slower lobbies. So you're kind of playing against either newer players or guys that are using a lot of T4s. It is a good car, but if you try to get into the 9s, the 8s, the 7s, by that point, the car has no advantage. I mean, it'll have to carry full performance point. Its Evo actually goes down compared to the raise in performance point, therefore making it not an advantageous car at all. But in this lobby, it's still pretty good. Able to hold its own very easily against most opponents. Right. So, and that's part of the reason why Danny likes it. Okay. So that's really it. I mean, the H to K has some of the best cars. Konigsegg particularly has a lot of really good cars. That's a 11.5 dyno. I probably need to tweak that. I don't particularly like to be in that dyno range. But so again, it's a good car. Next up will be Lamborghinis, moving to McLarens. We'll do another video on that in the future, but that's really it. So that is live racing cars from H to K. I hope you liked the video. If you liked the video, leave a like. You have any more questions about any one of these cars, feel free to ask in the comments. And you know, if you want specific setups or something like that, I can always share them in the comments as well. So if you like my videos and you like this kind of videos and like my channel, subscribe, hit the bell, and you get notified when I put up new videos. And as always, thank you for watching my videos. I'll catch you next time.